All right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, all of the issues are solved. So that just means one thing, that we can go racing. And yes, Byron, it does appear that everything is solved. So let's get underway with things, shall we?
And the first thing to note is that I got told at the start, when we were doing our little bit of caster prep, is that okay, times are going to be around about low 133s. Already, Napdovsky's gone and set a 132.9. Very impressed by him, and he's currently leading qualifying.
Yeah, and we saw that hot lap that Romanidis put in, 32.696. That was second on the global time trial leaderboard. So I thought, maybe a half a second would be a decent amount, but Napadovsky right on the pace, 3/10 down. And before we were able to mention, before we had to restart the stream and everything, Speed Barry is here, Formula Danny is here. This is big. I think the last time that Stiv race was back at Spain, which he won after an absolutely fantastic battle. I think it was either with Napadovsky or Hypers. I think it was Napadovsky. So Stiv very, very quick, and I'm super interested to see what he can do. Stiv, Photon, Formula Danny, all starting or all looking to start on these hard tires as well at the moment.
We'll see what times they're going to be able to set on these hard tires here. Looking for that reverse strategy. Assuming that people like Formula Danny and Photon, they do like to do this kind of reverse strategy back in the grid, but they've shown, time and time again, they're very, very happy with climbing the grid, and they've shown they've been able to do that. Now, last time, unfortunately, Formula Danny did try the strategy, and he got a little bit short in the foot. Sneaky safety, which brings us on to a very good topic, which is safety cars. They are going to be, I believe, a lot more frequent now, thanks to the new patch that has come out, patch 1.2. So, hopefully, I say hopefully, depending on which strategy you're running, and that safety car comes out when you want it to, you get a very nice pit. Lovely.
I mean, two drivers that have very bad experiences with safety cars is a Photon and Formula Danny. We remember that safety car back at USA, which came out at such an inopportune moment. As we ride on board currently with Michael Romanidis, he's up on his personal best right now. Then he'll come across the line as a 33-1, not enough to jump ahead of a Speed Barry. Who else is on a lap? But Cruzex, this is one driver that we have been, praising recently, and he is on his hot lap right now.
Yeah, he is. He is pretty fast. We'll see what his time is at the end of Sector 2. There's been a yellow flag in Sector 3 as well. Let's look at Mercedes having an issue there. So it must be Cardinal who's had a bit of an unlucky moment on his out.
Yeah, perhaps it was Cardinov. Yellow flag, as you mentioned, in Sector 2. And this, I guess, leads me onto one thing. We were talking before we came live about how there are certain bad tracks that don't have any personality, any characteristics. It's just turns 1, 2, 3, no cops, no Eau Rouge. So we decided to come up with a little name of our own for one of the corners here at Abu Dhabi.
Yes, we did. Turn 11. Now, if you remember correctly, from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Carlos Sainz was very happy when he did or didn't or not or whatever. He sent it down this corner. So we've named Turn 11 the Send It corner in reference to that. Hopefully we're going to be adding more corner names because, god damn it, these tracks need...
They do indeed, Byron. Now, Speed Barry is on a hot lap. He's currently sitting second place, but Sector 3's looked a bit scruffy, and indeed Speed Barry will back off. He's going to head into the pits. A driver I do want to sit on board with is Calsven. Just as I go to him, he's busy corner cutting. So, we're going to ignore that. We're going to go down. Formula Danny is coming into the pits, it seems. Who else is on a lap? Stiv, potentially. He's a 2/10 up through Sector 1. Let's see if he can find any more time in Sectors 2 and 3. We know Abu Dhabi is a track that is notoriously difficult when it comes to tyre wear, so maybe we could see that alternate strategy being much better, as I apologize, Stiv is on the medium tyres.
Yes, he is. And looking for some other people currently on some outlets. We see Leonard, actually. He's got a 0.2 improvement going, but that isn't going to push him too far, I believe. We'll see what he's able to improve in Sector 3 with him for a decent qualifying position. There is a lot of now entering the pits, maybe looking for a last run if they can make it. Well, looks like he's just as it is an improvement from Leonard, gets himself a 134.2, but still not really near that higher class of driver we're seeing. There's one just seems a world.
And instead of now the stream being 420 pixels, you keep cutting out on me, Byron. Things just get better and better for us, don't they?
Makes that problem.
Oh, was it your voice activation was too low?
No, I'm just gonna close some programs and see if that helps anything.
Okay, but
might be Discord having a bit of a mess.
So as you mentioned, Leonard has completed his lap. Camille Camon is on a lap himself here. Would like to give a quick shout out again to this fantastic Halo HUD that you see on the screen before you. If you want more info on how to get this for your own uses, you can check out the description in the YouTube, or I should say the YouTube description, where you can find out how to purchase and how to.
Right, do I sound any better now?
Yes.
Am I alive? Good. Right, that's great. Let me hop into F1 and hope it stays.
Oh, I remember your issues about whenever someone joins or leaves a session, how it affects things. As Camille, come on, taking that shortest line to the pits, just to make sure that he's got plenty of time to get back into the pits, put on a fresh set of boots, and get back out for a final lap. Now, everyone is on an out lap. Byron, we've got 18 drivers to take a pick of. Okay, I don't want to shorten that, but we have a wide range of very exceptionally talented drivers. Is your pick? Take the cream of the crop. Who do you want us to ride on board with?
Okay, so we have a few drivers that my pick, though, probably. Actually, we've seen Apadovsky, we've seen Romales, we've seen Formula Danny across the last few races. Speed Barry set a pole position lap back at Interlagos in Brazil. But the question is, can he do it again here at the Yas Marina Bay circuit? I'm very interested to see that, so I want to be alongside.
Okay, Speed Barry will be our man. He's on an out lap at the minute, so we're sitting on board with Michael Romanidis through that first sector. It's all looking clean. Apadovsky, he's just started his lap. But Speed Barry warming up those tires, getting ready to go racing? Go qualifying, let's say. For his hot lap, out through the final corner, bang on the power, up through the gears, 6th, up into 7th, won't go into 8th as he drops it down the gears, down into a 3rd, through the left-hander of turn 1, up through the gears, flat out through the left of 2, through the right of 3, use it as much curb as possible. Don't run the car out wide as you drop it through the gears, down into a 3rd for the left, down into 2nd temporarily for the right. Now quickly down the gears into 1st, short shift up into 2nd, up to 3rd, onto the 1st of the major straights, the DRS straight, instantly opened by Speed Barry. And as Michael Romanidis would say, get ready to focus on your braking point for turns 8 and 9. 100 meter boards down into a 2nd. Make that 1st gear, short shifts up to a 2nd. Take as much curb as you can through a 9, through the kink of a 10. And now, Byron, is the time to get ready to send it. Although I don't know if you'll want to send it on your qualifying lap.
Send it. And that up 0.2 up. If he holds this, he will get pole position depending on how Napadovsky's looking. And Napadovsky, he's off the track. He wants to go for another run.
Speed Barry's off the track as well as he makes his way into the triple right-hander. We're keeping an eye on the timing screen. Michael Romanidis will be the first of the top 3 to complete a lap. Speed Barry using all of the tarmac as possible. He makes his way through the final of the left-handers into the final 2 rights. Formula Danny has retired from the session. Into the last corner we go. Speed Barry will come across the line. It's fast. It's a 32.7, but it is not going to be validated. Speed Barry invalidating through the final sector. Napadovsky, he's gone on to another lap. Speed Barry has backed off Formula Danny's under 33.8 on those medium tires, but Michael Romanidis on these softer tires, he's not done yet. He's going for another lap, but I want to take a look potentially at Arsen Kardanov. He's in Sector 2, and a driver that we haven't been able to ride on board with this session, and he's going to be able to pick up a nicer tow from his Russian compatriot Napadovsky on the back straight.
And you say qualifying is not for racing, but we see a little bit of it right here. There's Kardanov lands a very nice overtake there, obviously being met by in the end. So many cars on track now, you can't help but feel there's a lot of pressure now on a few drivers trying to weave in and out of these slower drivers as they try and set their fastest lap.
Yeah, and the grid is actually much more spaced out than we've seen in previous times. 2 seconds separating Napadovsky to Vettel right at the back. Also, let's give a massive hand to Team Say, because that's a fantastic lap from him. He's in 4th place, and it's a much better performance than what we were able to see from him in Brazil. So Team Say really coming alive here at Abu Dhabi.
I do want to interrupt you though, because Kardanov was 0.5 seconds up coming into Sector 3. If he's been able to hold that, we might be looking. I don't think he has.
Oh, he's done it! He's done it! 700ths of a second. Arsen Kardanov makes it a Russian 1-2 here at Abu Dhabi. An incredible lap from the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, and Camille, come on. Also, very nice finish there. 5th place, 133.337. So close to the lead yet so far. Remember this finishing in 4th, and I'll be honest, you look at this top 3 and I'm very excited to see how this goes, because Kardanov has been someone who I've heard a lot of hype about. He hasn't necessarily lived up to all. He's looked strong. I wouldn't say he's looked podium material. But now that he's landed himself on that pole position, he now has the golden opportunity in front of him in the last race of the season to prove himself to everyone that he really is as strong as we can.
Yeah. And just to give that background information here, the reason why we're seeing Kardanov perform so much better here at Yas Marina than we saw him do at, let's say, Japan, for example, is because of that esports, that qualification race to get into the Pro Series was at Abu Dhabi, and there were drivers like Kardanov, like Calcifer, and maybe some of the other drivers here that took part in that race, and they put hours and hours, maybe days of practice in here at this particular circuit, and that's why now that we come to Yas Marina, this is where we see Kardanov come alive.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm just hoping we get to see more of this during the race, because if Kardanov shows up, Navidovsky shows up, Barry shows up, Romanidis shows up, all of a sudden, Danny's going to show up. Going even further down, you got for example, Infamous, Brownie, Leonard, Krusix, who could all kind of sneak around that kind of position as well. Kimil Kamon looks strong. It's such an exciting set of drivers that should hopefully make an incredibly close and exciting race.
Indeed it is. So to run you through the grid order, Kardanov picks up the win ahead of Napadovsky with Speed Barry in 3rd, Romanidis in 4th, Camille Camon in 5th. Teensay with a great qualifying finds himself in 6th ahead of Krusix and Leonard. Formula Danny is the first of the medium tyre runners ahead of Jake, Brownie, Photon, Kisiliak, Stiv, Calcifer, Vettel, Ulas and Infamous complete the grid. We'll be heading into a short break and we'll be right back with the final race of the ORL season. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for the final race of the season. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 21, the season finale of ORL Split A here at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, our grid order tonight. Arsen Kardanov leads the grid Abdowski in second, Speed Barry in third, Michael Romanus in fourth, Camille Camon in fifth, Tinsei in a very strong sixth position, Krusix in seventh, Leonard in eighth, Formula Danny, very strong ninth position on those medium tyres, Jake in 10th, Brownie in 11th, Photon in 12th, Kizniak in 13th, Stiv in 14th, Calcifer in 15th, Vettel in 6th, Ulas in 17th, and VSR Infamous rounding out the grid in 18th.
In the Drivers' Championship standings, Photon leads on 286, over 100 points ahead of Formula Danny. Hypers is in third with Napadovsky in fourth, 13 points behind Formula Danny. And as the thing stands, Napadovsky would be taking that second place in the championship standings. Lehman sits in fifth. He's got fifth covered. Mark is in sixth, just 5 points ahead of Leopard, and one further point ahead of Matthias, who is not racing tonight. So that is going to mean that Mark has sixth. Leopard will take seventh. However, that being said, Zones and Romanidis are ninth and 10th and have a potential shot at taking that sixth place. Hayes in 11th, Nameless 12th, Krusix in 13th. In the Constructors, Toro Rosso lead 36 points ahead of Mercedes. He'll be looking to go for a final push for the Constructors title. Red Bull are in third, just 6 points ahead of Alfa Romeo, with Williams a further 20 points behind. McLaren are in sixth place, followed by Ferrari as Haas and Renault. Krusix and Brownie is a story of that battle, with Racing Point right at the back, but Stiv making a return for Racing Point could be enough for their championship comeback.
Yeah, we're lining up on the grid now for the start of the 21st, the final race of ORL Season 11 Splits A. Here we go.
And I just saw bad news. Apparently Formula Danny has left the session. That's not looking good. But most of the drivers in the top 10 starting us off, with the exception of Danny. But we get ready to go racing for the last time this season, as the revs will rise, and away we go at Yas Marina. It's a great start from Napadovsky, who takes the lead heading into turn 1. Romanidis looking feisty, but Speed Barry will hold on to third as it's 3 side by side into turn 2, and those are the Haases along with Tinsei. But it is Napadovsky who leads from Cardinov, from Speed Barry. Formula Danny dropping down the order as Photon is already up into 10th place, and Stiv making good inroads as well. He's up to 12th, but Calcifer has just picked up the position, and he's having one of the best starts of the season so far. Formula Danny has been able to rejoin the session, so hopefully we should be able to see more battling going on from the Alfa Romeo driver. But look at this battle for 6th place. Tinsei leading Krusix and Leonard down into the left-right chicane. Tinsei and Krusix side by side, but Tinsei is going to be able to hold on to the position as Jake's getting very closer to Leonard on the exit, and it's time to make our way into the send it corner. Will Jake send it, or will he didn't send it? And Jake is gonna send it down the inside. He'll hold it around the outside, but Leonard is not done yet. He tries to hold it, but Jake will pick up the position, and that's a Photon in 10th place. Right on the back of this, it's Tinsei in 6th ahead of Krusix, Jake, Leonard, and Photon rounding out the top 10.
What an exciting start to the race there, and from Danny, because of the fact he left the race, it meant that I believe his car was AI controlled for the first half of that lap, which is why he's dropped down all the way to 16th here. He seems to already be struggling a little bit as the yellow flag, because Infamous is gone. He spun out. That is unfortunate for the Alfa Romeos. I mean, with Formula Danny having some issues and Infamous like that, it's just very, very unlucky, and they're going to be out of that battle that they've wanted to try and...
But they just, those two combined just have to beat Napadovsky's point total. But Napadovsky, you can't fault him in any way right now, leading the grid on a lap 2 of 28. Still a long way to go, but it's Photon and Brownie on those alternate strategies, and they have the best of scenarios, but we wanted safety cars. The change is to F1 2019 from Codemasters, and this may play into the hands of Infamous fairly nicely here.
Yeah, that is unfortunate there, and for a lot of drivers, but the question is, does anyone have the balls to pit on lap 2?
I'm not gonna lie, if you're a soft tire runner, it might be worth a shout, you know, because we know how hard this circuit is on those softs. If you go on to maybe the mediums, you could go mediums to the end of the race, and I think it's possible, or maybe even medium hard. I don't know if it's worth the risk, though. It's definitely, you know, we said back at USA the safety car was terrible for the drivers on the alternate strategy. This time, I think is good for the drivers on the alternate strategy because it means that, you know, those drivers on the softer tires won't be able to stretch out that much of a lead in these earlier stages of the race.
That is true, and it's gonna really hurt a lot of these drivers that you say because of that. Just gonna quickly check what tires people are running, and you see up to top 8, everyone's still running those softs, but you look behind Photon, Brownie.
Napadovsky's looking for the pits. All of the soft tire runners are coming into the pits here. They're all following each other in. None of them are teammates, and it's going to be Teensay who decides against it. Krusix won't, neither will Leonard, so it's going to be a racing point and 2 horses in the top 3. This is the stuff that dreams are made of right here.
Yeah, and I asked if anyone had the balls to put on the softs, and I replied, yes, we do. This is wonderful to see, though. You got to see it, and now Teensay leading the race. Dream scenario for the racing point. The issue is, as we talked about, those softs not really going to be able to be utilized to their full extent. However, with all that ERS saved up, as soon as the safety car disappears, he is going to be blasting off like a rocket to start this race.
And now all of a sudden, Formula Danny's back in this. So we've got safety car. It's a time for us to have a breather that we rarely get. Grid order is currently Teensay from Krusix, from Leonard, from Photon, Brownie in 5th, ahead of his Renault teammate, Kisliak. Formula Danny in 7th, ahead of Vettel. Napadovsky and Karnov were your race leaders, maybe still your effective race leaders. Romanidis in 11th, ahead of Speed Barry, Jake. Camille Comon in 14th, Stiv at 15th, Ula 16th, Calcifer and Infamous complete the top 18. The question I have for you right now is, are Napadovsky and Karnov, yes, they're 9th and 10th, but do they still have the effective race lead, or are they actually behind Formula Danny for reals this time?
I think they're behind. I mean, they've pitted, and the mediums only have an extra 2 laps of wear for Formula Danny. I think Formula Danny's at the lead now, and then everyone is at the mediums.
But Photon's in the lead by that logic, but there is one final thing I want to mention. Ride on board with any of the drivers and a look at the sky in front, because that looks dark. And whenever we talk about desert races, you know, Bahrain or here at Abu Dhabi, we usually say impossible to get rain, but I don't know this time, as a safety car will be coming in and it's time to go racing again. Teensay will be leading in the racing point. The first time we've seen this since Spain, back at round 4, round 5 this season. Teensay gets away, but it's Krusix who's right on his tail, and Krusix has a little look into turn 1, but decides against it. No moves happening anywhere else, but Krusix actually getting a great drive out of turn 1. Teensay will run wide on the exit, but it's still Teensay from Krusix from Leonard. Photon up into 4th place, but Leonard looking for the inside into the left-hander of turn 5. But he'll have to back out of it as Napadovsky, he's already dispatched with the Ferrari of Vettel, and he is up into 8th place as Cardinal follows through down the inside. It's a massive gaggle of cars. Romanidis now looking to have a go as well. Speed Barry tucks him behind as it's Napadovsky, Cardinal, Vettel, Romanidis and Barry as we make our way down into turn 8. And Speed Barry's going to look for the inside. He decides against it, but there's a lockup from one of the Williams. That's Jake who tries to hold it around the outside as a Mercedes goes sideways, and that's Cardinov. Your pole man is sideways on the exit of turn 9, and his race goes horribly wrong. It's Romanidis who picks up the pieces. He is in 9th place. Formula Danny is in 6th, but Napadovsky getting a great run down the inside of Kisliak into turn 13. Napadovsky up into 7th place, and he can see Formula Danny right up ahead of him.
And that is disaster for Cardinal. I really feel for him. Imagine you qualify top of the grid, you've got the softs on, you're ready for a fast race, and then that the safety car comes out, you get bunched up again, caught up in the middle of the pack. that's a stinger. You have to feel for him. But now, look at how close this really is. There isn't a single gap of more than 1 second.
Speed Barry round the outside of Vettel into turn 1. He's going to try to hold it. He's done it round the outside. Cracking move from Speed Barry as Kismet goes sideways through too. Will anyone collect him? No, they won't, as that's one of the racing points going really sideways, and now Stiv sending it into the left-hander of turn 5, and he makes the move work. Now he's behind Jake. Jake looking for the dive bomb into 7, and Jake will make it work, but they're side by side on exit. Stiv watching all of this unfold from in front of him. And Steve going to tuck in behind, so will Vettel as well. But Steve has the double slipstream as Jake is running Vettel all the way into the Armco. Crazy, crazy scenes as that Steve has he gone right into the back. What is going on our screens as the glitches are coming in thick and fast in the final race of the ORL season?
Oh my god, that battle was ridiculous. It got solved by ghosting through Jake. What is going on? Like, and Photon, though, incredibly close to landed here, might be looking for a move here in the end of the start of Sector 3, sorry. But I don't know if we'll be able to make it stick. No.
And there's a yellow flag as well. I think that's Ulas who's dropping down the order. And Formula Danny's right on the tail of Brownie here. Brownie on those hard tires, so he's on the alternate of the alternate strategies after this safety car. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we like to see safety cars. Sure, it ruins the race from a driver's perspective, but from a viewer's perspective, it just adds entertainment. As down behind, that's Napadovsky looking at Romanides, but he'll have to back out of the move. Your effective leaders currently is Photon from Brownie, from Formula Danny, Romanides, Napadovsky, and then Speed Barry in the Ferraris, looking to close back into this battle that stretches all the way up to first place.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Cardinov forced to pit, as a few drivers have been forced to, Kizlak and Ulas as well. They are effectively, I would say, out of
Formula
this
Danny's
race
up into 5th place. He's just made the move on Brownie through turn 7. Brownie will tuck in right behind. And as you mentioned, Romanidis is here as well. Where do you look for the battle? Romanidis is sending it so late on the brakes. Everyone side by side through the chicane. This is absolutely crazy. And Napadovsky's got to get the best of all runs, but he's got nowhere to go. And he's forced to back out of the move. Romanidis are looking for a go at Brownie into the send it corner. Will he send it, or didn't send it? Romanidis has sent it, and now Napadovsky will follow through round the outside, as that's the Red Bull upper place. But Brownie round the outside, actually no, that Speed Barry is looking to follow through as well, and Brownie lose about 3 places in the space of 4 corners.
Oh my
and
god.
Make that another one. Stiv barges his way through, and that's Brownie going sideways after contact, and that's Camille come on into the back. He's spun out. Thank God for ghosting right here. Brownie and Camille dropping through the order like crazy. Kasper and Vettel having a bit of a battle for 12th place side by side through the penultimate corner, and that's going to be Kalsifer picking up the position.
Oh, Napadovsky just made a move on Michael Romanidis. Now he's in 4th. After that, they were side by side through the final turn of the track, and these guys slowly climbing up. But keep in mind, Krusix is the only driver still out on the softs, as Leonard has pitted now. Actually, no, he's coming out on the softs, but by that Krusix, he's on these softs, he's in the lead. But for how long is he going to stay out, as Photon is closing in? Formula Danny will be closing in. And behind him, Napadovsky, Romanidis, Steve, Speed Barry. The names just go on. And now, Photon looking for an attack here, but I don't think he'll be able to make it work.
Going to get the switch back through turns 8 and 9. He has DRS. Krusix has no way of defending apart from the raw pace of the Haas, and he's going to have no way to defend. Photon will look down the inside, heading into turn 11, and he'll pick up the position easy as you like. As Krusix goes sideways, Formula Danny's forced to take evasive action, and he drops down the order side by side with Romanidis, who now takes 3rd, and that's Napadovsky up into 2nd place ahead of Romanidis and of Formula Danny.
That is unfortunate for Krusix, but it's a dream scenario for Photon, because now he's 1.4 seconds ahead of anyone who can contest him. He's out of that DRS range. He can go flying ahead into the lead now and see how far he can extend this, because it's very important that he does. Napadovsky, Romanidis, Formula Danny, they were not take this sitting down. They will be driving as fast as humanly possible. So Photon needs to get a run in fast as he sets the fastest lap of the session for about 0.2 seconds. Zappadowski takes it right now.
But fast as humanly possible. We used to have a driver called Shez, or now Rage, who would refer to these drivers at the top of the split as aliens. So I think he'd say fast as alienly possible, because these guys transcend the laws of human nature sometimes.
The extra fast extraterrestrials here at the top of the grid.
You nailed it. They're X-Men. That's it.
As we'll see if there's any other battles we can tune into. As Cardinal gets his fastest lap. At least he still has that going for himself.
Yeah, and Cardinal pitted right after that spin. He pitted that lap for medium tyres. Those mediums won't go to the end of the race, but he will have to make one more stop as Michael Romanidis has a little look at Napadovsky. He's closing in onto Photon here. Remember, Photon did not pit for new tyres. That's why he is up in first. And the reason Formula Danny has dropped back is because he disconnected right at the start of the session, and the opening lap wasn't performed by the AI. Formula Danny dropping off this battle for third place a little bit with a Stiv and a Speedberry in a 5th and a 6th place. Infamous also making decent inroads. He's up in 8th place on the hard tyres that he started. Actually, no, remember he had that spin on, what was it, lap 2, and he pitted for new hards at the end of that lap.
Yeah, this is such a chaotic race. There's been so many spins that it means that, you know, that hard tyre, he can make that last for a very long time in this race. I think he'll have to pit one time more. But still, great recovery from Infamous to land himself in 8th place. And if he continues his pace, he could maybe even look a little bit further in the grid, I believe. Now, big battles in front of him. You've got Jake and Speedberry all closing in on Stiv. If they slow each other up, Infamous will be in with a chance to start.
Oh, Napadovsky down the inside of turn 2. Who even tries to overtake through turn 2? Napadovsky doesn't. Now Romanidis is in the battle. They're practically 3 abreast into the left-hander over turn 5. Napadovsky will hold on to second place, and now that's Formula Danny right on the tail, but Napadovsky dives it down the inside of the Toro Rosso through turn 7. He won't be able to make the move work, but he will compromise Photon's exit, and he's right up the chop of a Photon on the first of the DRS straights. Napadovsky should take second. Romanidis will try to follow through, and he's actually going to try to take Napadovsky around the outside of a turn 8, inside of 9. Formula Danny follows through, but Photon gets a better drive on the exit of the chicane. Formula Danny's forced to tuck in behind Photon. These two usually in comms with each other. Will they make it easy or will they not? But it's a virtual safety car as Vettel has left the session, and we've had the changes to the F1 game. I mean, we've got the safety car, we've got a virtual safety car. What else do we need? Rain at Abu Dhabi, that's the only thing that's left.
Oh my god, and they're still battling going to the virtual safety car. Come on. But it's so close, and you love to see it. And these virtual safety cars and the actual safety car, they do a very good job at creating a lot more of this excitement, which is great news as a spectator. This race has been fantastic so far, but as a driver, it can be very frustrating. You have these kind of...
Formula Danny's looking for the pits. Formula Danny dives into the pits. What is he trying to do? Is he just trying to find... Is he still going to pit one more time after this, or is he going on to the hards?
It has to be hards, surely.
It is hards waiting for him. Now, the hards can do 18 laps, but will it work out? The other question is Kardinov. Will he come into the pits? No, he's going to stay out on the mediums. He actually pitted a couple... Yeah, he already pitted a few laps ago. Stiv's coming to the pits, so is Speedberry. So you've got Romanidis, Napadovsky, and Photon on the medium tyres. And then you've got Formula Danny, Stiv, and Speedberry on, I want to say the alternate strategy, but it's the alternate strategy right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of a safety car. Makes those alternate strategies really worth thinking about. As now, I'm really excited to see how this battle for the top spot goes. Around the Napadovsky to talk about their on-call, the Russian squad, but Photon is right behind. They're all so close.
Infamous is taking a look for fourth. He's making his way into the send it corner. He won't have to send it because he's already ahead on the entry into the braking zone. Romanidis still leads from Napadovsky, who is right there. And Kardinov, he's fed out right with Formula Danny. If he can make those mediums work, you never know. Maybe he's got an outside shot of picking up a top 5, but that incident, that is just so gutting for him, who was really looking to pick up such a strong result here at one of his best circuits on the calendar.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but oh man, this race, it just not like, look at, I mean, Jake's also very close to Infamous. That's a big battle for fourth, bear in mind, now that a few pits have come out, so I'm excited to see how that unfolds. Jake should be able to theoretically close the gap. He does have the tyre advantage. However, mediums will be getting very worn at this point in the race, so will he be able to hold out, or will he have to pit? That is the question.
And they've worn out to the extent that the top three are actually lifting through turn 3, and when they start doing that, you know that you know, the tires are a little bit subpar.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Formula Danny's giving a lift. Fresh hards. Wow. Crazy.
That is weird. Wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong person. Never mind. I was about to say, hang on a sec. Formula Danny, hard, 9 laps. I was looking at the other Alpha.
Okay.
Never mind. I have been hacked.
Right, Napadovsky is close to Romanidis on the back straight. He's got DRS open. He could look for an inside, but will decide against the dive bomb. Photon dropping back. He just does not have the pace. And, you know, Photon is just one of those drivers who is so close to being that esport level, but he just needs to find that 1/2 a lap, and then he will be there. So, you know, it's just that little bit extra he needs to be able to find.
Yeah, exactly. He does have the advantage of being a very consistent driver. We've seen that over the course of the season. There's a reason he's our champion. But still, he needs to find that extra pace. He needs to become extraterrestrial, as we talked about. And as soon as he hits that kind of level, combined with his consistency, he will be a scarily fast driver who also will not have those 1 or 2 odd moments that some drivers do have where they push it that little bit too far. He understands his limits, and that's something I respect about him as an F1.
Now, while we have a little bit of a low in the racing, I want to take a look at how everything is going to change, primarily in the constructors, and then if we get a chance later in the drivers, because we talked about, you know, the battle for 8th place in the championship, Haas versus Renault, a battle between Crucix and Brownie. And currently, Brownie in 8th place will actually be looking to jump ahead of Haas by 1 point as the things stand right here.
Yeah, that's as things stand. Crucix 4 laps on these mediums. He's already pitted, whereas Brownie started on the hard, so he will be looking to pit at least once the rest of this race, so we'll see which strategy prevails here. And actually, Brownie gets overtaken already by Leonard, so that 1 point. Bye-bye, there it's gone.
Yeah, and now it's 1 point behind. The other bigger battle is Red Bull versus Alfa Romeo. Napadovsky in second. Well, that's going to be enough to keep Red Bull ahead of Alfa, but don't forget, Napadovsky still has to pit, as does Infamous, to be fair.
Yep, and what's also to note is Formula Danny, pending any issues on track, should not have to pit for the rest of the race. And he's in 10th right now. He is, actually, let me see if I can quickly check. He's 18 seconds behind the leader, but a pit stop here is more than 18 seconds, I believe. So if he's able to hold that, he will be able to overtake Napadovsky when he goes to the pit. And that will be huge.
And I've just noticed something else rather big. Stiv retired from the session, and this was quite a while back. Because remember, he pitted with Formula Danny and Speed Barry and was in between the two. And he's out of the race, and I'm not sure why. So it looks like he's retired in the pits. And that's a massive shame.
Yeah, it really is, but we'd have a very rough race. It was very close, and I'm sure the safety cars did not help whatever plan he had going. However, you do not like to see retirements in the pits. It's not fun. As Roche, Formula Danny, now approaching Brownie. Brownie on 12 lap old hard. Formula Danny's on 3 laps, so a lot fresh.
Yeah, and Brownie will be getting those medium tires who are ready soon. Probably going to pit in 5 laps or so. But Formula Danny sweeps around the outside, and that's him up into 9th place. Now he can begin the hunt down on the Haas of Leonard.
Yes, he can.
Also, Calcifer's just found a way through on Jake into the Sendit corner.
Ooh.
And to be fair, Calcifer, he's only 3 seconds down on his teammate Photon. So he's doing a pretty good job, and he's on slightly fresher mediums as well. And don't count him out of getting some bigger points here.
Yeah, but you have to keep in mind the top 6 in this race are all on 10 lap all the tires. They're going to be getting worn, and they're all going to need to pit again at some point in this race. So there will be a big shuffle coming up at some point in the near future as those drivers start to make their way towards the pits. I'm sure people like Teen Say, Leonard, Formula Danny, that is music to their ears as they are waiting right behind them for about a 4-second.
Now, Infamous right on the tail of Photon as we make our way down into turn 5. Won't look for any shenanigans, but he'll get a better drive, and now he could look for the inside into the hairpin. Decides against it, will just look to get the better run through 7. The decent run, and he should be able to pick up the position. Infamous on those hard tires as Photon's medium tires really starting to fall off the cliff now.
Yeah, they really are. And Infamous now on these hard tires going to be a little bit more comfortable for the time being with this amount of wear. Still going to be tough for him, but a lot better than being on the same amount of wear on a medium set of tires. And so we're going to see from Romandis and Napadovsky right now, how long can they push these medium tires before they decide enough is enough and they head back into the pits? That's my question now, because I imagine you'd want the pits at some point soon, possibly just go medium again. That might be what they look to do.
I want to take a look at Kardanov, because obviously we know after that spin his race has been practically ruined. But I want to take a look at what he's challenging for as he picks up a 3-second time penalty. But he's on the same strategy as a Teen Say right now, so that should be his objective, you know, to just close into these guys, jump ahead of a Teen Say after the pits, as Romanidis has dived into the pits.
Yeah, he has. And with Kardanov, it is tough for him, especially because he's on the medium tires, so he knows it isn't going to last to the end. However, it is still possible, like we see, we have a few people pitting right now. He might be able to try and get the advantage there, but he's still 20 seconds away from the leader with a pit to go. So we'll have to see.
Now, Michael Romanidis is making his way out of the pits right now. He's going to come ahead of Kardanov, and he's going to come out alongside, actually ahead of Leonard, and he's got Formula Danny right in front of him. Romanidis on fresh mediums, Formula Danny on old hard, so the pit under virtual safety car has not worked out here for Formula Danny and Speed Barry.
Well, yeah, it really hasn't, and Michael Romanidis very willing to take advantage here. Already has DRS in Formula Danny. He's in lovely overtake. He is going to be able to nail. Not much that Formula Danny can do about that. He's just going to have to let the Greek driver go past here. As I'm now starting to think, can Formula Danny even challenge for the top positions? Because if we're okay, he's in range for the pits, he'll be fine. He's now behind Romanidis, who's on better tires. And I'm very worried for Formula Danny.
And don't forget, Napadovsky is on that exact same strategy, and when he pits, he's going to be coming out right behind Romanidis, maybe alongside Formula Danny, and you would have to think Formula Danny won't even be able to challenge for second place, and he's going to have to settle for third. And as we say that, Napadovsky is going to dive into the pit.
Yeah, we'll see where he comes out. It'll be a very important thing.
Romanidis is gone.
Oh my god, he has. Thanos? What the fuck do you do?
Wait, did you just say Thanos?
Did you get snapped? Yes, I did just say Thanos.
Napadovsky will come out a little bit further behind as Romanidis has really pushed on this set of tyres. Napadovsky comes out. Where will he feed out? I think that's alongside, ahead of Leonard, and he's got Formula Danny ahead, so the strategy has been practically the same, but he's lost a bit more time to Formula Danny than Romanidis did.
Yeah, that'd be that extra lap out on the old mediums, a lot harder to drive there, and unfortunately wasn't able to get as good of an undercut.
Calcifer's just overtaken Photon. Lap 16, Calcifer up into second, or provisionally second place. Photon really struggling on these medium tyres, and we were talking about how, you know, Calcifer, this is his last chance to prove himself, prove why he was that season 10 champion, why he was able to take Formula Danny to the final race of the season, and after a poor qualifying session, he's really coming back.
Yeah, he really is. It's great to see. However, We do know that he will have to pit soon, and remember this, only 2.8 seconds off of Photon, meaning that he will very happily close this gap very, very soon.
I think all three of these are going to pit this lap, except for the Toro Rossos. One of them will pit this lap, one on the next lap. Yeah, Infamous going to dive in. Will Calcifer follow through? Will he give it to Photon? No, he's going to let Photon pit first. Photon really struggling on those mediums, so I think Calcifer just being a little bit nice to his teammate there.
Yeah, well, Napadovsky was 2 seconds behind Formula Danny. He is now 0.2 seconds behind Formula Danny, heading into the 17th lap of the Grand Prix. He's closed this gap very, very well, and I imagine he will be looking to get an overtake at this DRS straight coming up. To note as well, congratulations.
Formula Danny jumping over the curb, and as you mentioned, yeah, congrats, Calcifer up into first place. Napadovsky, will he look down the inside into the hairpin? No, he's got to look to do it all the way around on the outside. He gets the drive as well. Napadovsky up into a third, and what is effective second place.
Yeah, right now, though, Napadovsky has a drive ahead of him. He's had to battle Formula Danny, climb up the grid. Romanidis has created a 5.8 second gap. To try and make that up in only 11 laps, or 12, is going to be incredibly tough. It's going to be a very tough ask of Napadovsky. So we'll have to see if he can pull it out. Calcifer, despite the fact he still has to pit, Romanidis is within a second of him.
And I also want to put out there, you know, Speed Barry, he's closing in as well, but hard enough, he does have to make another pit, and he's doing a decent job of things so far. Romanidis is right on the tail of Calcifer, and I'm interested to see whether Calcifer, will he come out behind Photon? Photon's actually going for the softs. So could Calcifer go for the softs as well? Calcifer dives into the pits, Romanidis will reclaim his lead, and Romanidis and Napadovsky, before they came in the pits, they were nose to tail, and Napadovsky has somehow gained a whopping, what, 6 seconds? To Napadovsky, that's incredible pace that Romanidis has on these medium tyres.
Yeah, it really is. And we talked about Romanidis with that incredible time and time trial, second on the leaderboard. And didn't see as much of that in the qualifying session, but he's showing his pace now in spades. He's looking so fast on here. And now, Cardinal closing in on Formula Danny. We'll see if he's able to get the overtake at some point next few laps before he has to pit. I'm very interested.
And I think we have a battle on for 7th place, actually 4th place, so let's make that. Hard enough on all mediums, he needs to pit. Speed Barry on all hards, he can get to the end, but you've got Infamous, Jacob, Photon, Calcifer on fresher rubber, and they're going to be closing in. This is going to be a big, big battle.
What I find interesting as well is I believe Calcifer let Photon pit first, but yes. Photon was the one who went for the softs, and Calcifer was the one who went for the mediums. So a little bit of divergent team strategy there. Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see whether these softs will actually make the race different. And, you know, this all comes down to how much practice you put in before the race, how much time you spent, you know, in race sims, 50% race sims, testing out each tire. And not just testing out each tire, but testing it out at the start of race, testing it out at the end when you're on low fuel, when you have a low fuel load, and it's seeing how far all of these tires can go and how it affects your race time. So it's all down to preparation here.
Yeah, it really is. Other drivers I would say to keep an eye on, notably Teen Say in 11th. He had a fantastic qualifier run for himself, and he's just gone into the medium behind 7 seconds behind him is there, who's also someone to talk about for all these fresher tyres. But Teen Say catching Crucix here. I'm interested to see if he can make
also,
this
Infamous work. On the tail of Speed Barry as we make our way to the end of Sector 1. And I've just had a light bulb moment and realized why Calcifer's on the medium, but I'll explain that in a second as Infamous dives down the inside. As Camille Camon picks up a time penalty, but that's Infamous up into 4th place, and Speed Barry is going to drop down. And now you have to think, Infamous, could he even take Formula Danny? And this is a long train that goes all the way down to 8th. Is this actually a battle for 3rd and not 4th?
And also, one thing to note, the Alfa Romeo's catching the Red Bull right now. Napadovsky is in 2nd place, Formula Danny and Infamous 3rd and 4th. If they can try and close that gap even more, it is possible that they can get that point lead that they need to take home, I believe it is second in the Constructors' Championship.
Also, so the reason why Calcifer's on mediums is I believe that he qualified on the soft tires, and I just think that because of the safety car, Calcifer doesn't actually have any fresh soft tires left. That's why he's had to go for the mediums, whereas the likes of Photon, who qualified on the medium tires, has more fresh soft tires available to him.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, actually. But now, Photon is still within DRS range of Jake and Calcifer, who are on the medium tires, despite the fact that Photon is on softs. So, I'm gonna be interested to see if there's a battle unfolding here, or if Photon just speed off. Because you're seeing he is gaining time. He's getting faster laps.
Sorry to cut you off, Byron, but the two Alfa Romeo side by side into turn 5. Infamous round the outside and will pick up the position. Formula Danny doesn't want to let this go, but there's just nothing he can do. Infamous up into third place, and Speed Barry's closing in onto Danny, who's just so unlike Danny, is really struggling here at the Yas Marina circuit. He's got DRS and Slipstream back on Infamous. He'll have a look for the outside, but Infamous on the soft tires is able to hold it down the inside, and he will be able to pick up a third place. And now Speed Barry's in this battle as well. Calcifer's on the tail of Jake, but he has a massive moment on the exit of turn 9. But he should still be able to pick up 7th, and then, who knows, can Photon and Calcifer, this Toro Rosso pair, close in to Formula Danny and Speed Barry on these old hard tyres? 9 laps remaining of the final race of the season. Kardanov has just picked up the position on Leonard. He's going to at least get into the points, and now he can look to try to close in onto Teensay.
Yeah, and Jake loses it on that corner. Calcifer trying to get him on the outside here. Can he do it?
Jake's going to leave him space. Oh, Calcifer does it round the outside of the double left-hander. We have seen so many people brave it on the outside. It's actually been crazy. And that's Calcifer up into 7th place, who's having one of his drives of the season right on the back of a Photon. And we could always ask, how differently would these races go if there wasn't the safety car, if there wasn't the virtual safety car? But you know, that's part of racing, and you have to be able to adapt to these situations. And look, Calcifer, you can see Photon up ahead, and you can see Speed Barry and Formula Danny in the corner of your shot as well. Photon 2.5 seconds behind, and if I'm not mistaken, that gap was almost 5 seconds a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, it is. And now look at how fast Speed Barry is closing in on Formula Danny. Won't be looking to make a move this lap, but next lap, if he's able to keep the pace going, he could be looking at that 4th position, looking to start climbing the grid. Formula Danny, as you say, he's off pace right now and could get overtook. Will he send it?
Speed Barry looks down the inside, and Speed Barry is going to send it. Formula Danny tries to hold it around the outside, and he's going to make it work. There's a bit of contact, and Photon can see all of this happening, and his eyes are going to be lighting up with excitement, and all of this squabbling. Formula Danny, you know, even if he doesn't lose a place in Speed Barry, now he's going to lose a place in Photon, maybe Calcifer as well, maybe even Jake on top of that. And, you know, you can't really fault him for wanting to have a battle, but it is going to cost him positions. And I want to take a look at the championship as well, because Napadovsky going to pick up 18 points, and that means that Formula Danny, it needs to be picking up, what, 6 points, I think, something like that.
I do not have the standings on me, but I believe it was something like either 12 or an 18.
It's 13 points, 13 points. But we're going to have to think about that later, because Photon is right on the tail here, and Calcifer's only a further second back. Formula Danny, Speed Barry, and Photon in the battle for 4th place. Photon gets very close. Speed Barry won't go defensive, and Photon will look to just get the better drive coming out of turn 7. He gets a really good drive, and he's right on the back of Speed Barry. You have to think he's going to send it going down into turn 8. DRS open. Speed Barry will go defensive. No, he won't. Photon could go for the look, and down the inside he will go. Photon up into 5th place, right on the tail of Danny, and maybe he could have a go down into the center corner as well. He'll have a DRS on the back. Calcifer closing in for Photon on the back of Formula Danny. Formula Danny will go defensive. He says, Photon, I know we are effectively teammates. We're both Hungarian compatriots, but I'm going to make you go the long way. You have to think that they're both in comms together. I think they are both streaming as well. And in the background, you can see Jake having a bit of a battle with Teensay. Formula Danny holds on to 4th for now. But Jake and Calcifer closing in, and Calcifer's already on the back of this battle with just over 5 laps remaining. Sorry, 6 laps remaining of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to think about these tough tires. Because right now, the pace difference is pretty damn large. However, how will they be?
Calcifer's looking for the inside. Speed Barry's going to have to hold it around the outside, but Calcifer's going to get the drive into 2. This is a ballsy. Almost contact. Calcifer has to take the long way around, and he'll have to yield in the battle and just be a little bit more patient. Oh, there's contact between Photon and Formula Danny. That's a cluster of cars. I don't know if Photon lost some front wing there, but Photon is up into 4th ahead of Formula Danny. Speed Barry in 6th with Calcifer in 7th. And now Jake is within 1 second as well. But Formula Danny does not want to let this one go. He wants to battle. He is a natural racer. He has a look for the inside. He goes down the inside as well. But Photon is going to be able to get the slingshot out. They make more contact as Danny parks on the apex. Photon picks up the position. Calcifer now in the battle alongside his championship battler. Let's say his championship rival from season 10. Calcifer down the inside and descending, but it's Formula Danny who sends it round the outside. He holds on to the position. Are you kidding me? Speed Barry, I think there's contact he had with Jake. And now Teensay's in 7th. Jake's up in 8th. Speed Barry down to 9th. Then Cardinov closing in. He's down in 10th place.
This is such an intense race. The battle for 4th is raging on. You can see that battle goes all the way down to 10th place here. It's absolutely insane what's happening, and the battle's only going to continue heating up as these tire strategies start kind of merging. Can Photon keep the pace on these softs? Will Formula Danny's hard start to fall off? How will the mediums wear? So many questions that are going to be answered in these final few laps, and with everyone so close, we're about to see more battling, more overtakes, and maybe even more contact.
We're going to need about 10 minutes at the end of this race to take a look at what's going to happen in the championship standing. Hopefully the admins can get the championship tables done nice and quickly so we can show them at the end of the race, because from what I'm aware, as the things stand, Alfa Romeo needs 6 points more than Red Bull. Napadovsky versus Infamous. Infamous is losing 3 points. So Formula Danny needs to get 9 points for Alfa Romeo to jump ahead of Red Bull in the standings. And I think he's on for 10 points at the moment. If he loses a position to Calcifer, he only gets 8th. So this isn't just a battle for 5th place. This is a battle for Formula Danny getting 2nd in the Drivers' Championship standings, and getting Alfa Romeo 3rd place in the Constructors.
A lot of pressure weighing down on Formula Danny. When he races a lot of the time, he reminds me of someone who's quite carefree in his driving. He's very chill, likes to take sometimes the wacky strategy just for the sake of it. But when push has come to shove here, he's not delivered as we expect, and that means that now, the last few laps of this Grand Prix, he has to pull it out of the bag. Calcifer 0.6 seconds behind on the faster tyre compound. Danny needs to drive it high out if he wants to end 2nd, if he wants to get out of room that 2nd place in the Constructors.
But the battling that Formula Danny did with Photon, while I was saying, this isn't clever because it means Calcifer's going to catch up, it also means that Photon soft tyres have worn out a lot more, and it seems that now even the mediums have lost their edge a bit. And I think Formula Danny, come that final lap of the race, he might be able to have a go at Photon, because Photon isn't able to pull out a gap to Formula Danny, and because of that, Calcifer on the medium tyres isn't able to have a proper go at Danny, because Danny constantly has DRS on these straights.
Yeah, exactly. And one
Oh,
other worry
Cardinov
that Calcifer's going to have. Oh,
down the inside of
done?
Speed Barry, and that's him up into 9th place. An extra point for him and for Mercedes. Won't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but I'm sure he'll take the point regardless after what has been a fairly horrendous race for him in what has been one of the most stacked grids we have had in ORL all season, with the exception of the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we had, you know, James, Steve, Danny, Hypers, Photon, Napadovsky, as well as a few others. Fabrizio Donoso was racing as well, and that was just a crazy race. So many esports level drivers there.
Yeah, and the gap is starting to be closed. It's a little bit surely. It's looking like about 2 tenths per lap, 3 tenths per lap on Photon. If that pace continues, it will be a last lap overtake from Formula Danny if he's trying to secure himself the 2nd place in the championship and in the constructors. However, also has to worry about Calcifer behind him now, only 0.2 seconds off. This could be huge. This straight right here.
He's pushing so damn hard right now. And your favorite thing to analyze, Byron, that ERS Photon has so little compared to Danny and Calcifer. 2.5 laps remaining of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Romanidis is clear in the lead from Napadovsky and Infamous. Oh, here we go.
God.
Formula Danny round the outside. He's going to pick up the position. You know, Photon will try to look for the switchback, but Calcifer's there in the battle. Their teammates, but Calcifer still wants to do this, and this is a big move for Alfa Romeo in the Constructors' Championship. And look, that's Teensay there as well. Teensay's going to send it into the center corner. Photon round the outside, picks up the position. Calcifer's up into 6th, but it is Photon from Danny from Calcifer with a Teensay in 7th, who gets a little bit sideways on the exit of a turn of 14, but this battle is not done yet. We still have 2 more laps of battling ahead of us, folks.
Wow, I say 2 laps, it's like 1.5 now. It is down to the wire. We could even see, there is a scenario where Jake gets 4th, and I wouldn't even be that surprised. Like, that's how insane this battle is, how close these drivers have fought as we head into the final. Oh no, it isn't the final lap of the race. I got bamboozled.
Yes.
Never mind. Penultimate. Which is great for us. We get an extra lap of battling.
It was lap 27 because Romanidis had already crossed the line.
Darned esports drivers in their fast pace.
I mean, you say that, the esports driver who came 3rd in the esports championship. Oh, Calcifer's looking to send it into turn 7. It's going to compromise Danny, but by how much? Danny's going to have a DRS. Calcifer might actually have compromised himself. You can't fault Calcifer for trying. Photon's going to go defensive. Calcifer's closing in. Hards versus softs versus mediums. You have everything here. Formula Danny picks up 4th place, and Photon won't even get as good a drive as he did last time around. And Calcifer, I think, is too far back to a challenger Photon. And Formula Danny is just going to use all of that ERS now. Teensay on the back of Calcifer could look to have a go. He's got to look to send it. No, Calcifer super late on the brakes. Has a lockup of his own as it's Formula Danny from Photon from Calcifer. And this race has just got absolutely insane. And now Cardinov is on the back of this battle as well now.
Yeah, it's a train. It's a conga line as we head into our last lap of the race. It's going to be so intense. Like you said, these strategies all combining now. These hard serving Formula Danny very well now. Photon starting to lose a little bit of that pace that he wanted, and Calcifer still hasn't really been able to make push these mediums as hard as I expected him to. But still, 1 more lap to go. Can the Toro Rossos make a move? Or will they fall to Teensay and Jake and Cardinal? Now waiting.
Oh, Calcifer! This is so dangerous, but he's pushing so hard. He wants that 5th place. I'm not sure what his best result of the season is, but I'm pretty sure 5th place would be it. 6th place might be it anyway. As here we go on to the straight for the last time. Camille, come on, sets a new fast lap. He's down in 13th. That doesn't matter. But Calcifer, he's closing in onto Photon. But Photon has a DRS and he's too far back to have a go into turn 8. He'll slot behind for now. Cardinov a little bit further back. But look at Calcifer right on the tail of Photon as we make our way down into turn 11. There's a reason turn 11 is called the Send It corner. And Calcifer is going to try round the outside. Not quite the sides a move, but the two Toros are side by side all the way through. Calcifer cannot make it work. Someone's picked up a time penalty. That's Cardinov. Romanidis picks up the win. It's got to be Napadovsky who takes second. Calcifer, can he have any way to find a move on to Photon here? Mode of 5 ERS. Infamous will take third behind Napadovsky. Formula Danny has defended for all his life's worth and will take a fourth place. But Calcifer, he has some time penalty, so I don't know how far back he'll drop. Formula Danny will take fourth on the road ahead of Photon, who jumps ahead. Calcifer will take sixth, 13 say 7th. Cardinov 8th, Jake 9th, and Leonard will jump into 8th. Brownie takes 10th. Speed Barry up into 7th, 200ths ahead of 18 say. And I don't know what this means for the constructors or for the drivers' championship standings. We'll have to do some quick maths when we get into our break to make everything work.
Oh my goodness, what a fantastic race to watch though. So many different strategies at play thanks to those safety cars. So many battles right up until the last lap. You know, there's nothing to complain about there. What a fantastic race to watch. And Michael Romanidis, Napadovsky, Infamous, all very clean races for them to look out the podium. Very well done from them.
Yeah, absolutely crazy battling. I'm just scared for when I have to do the race highlights video. I'm practically going to have to include every lap. In fact, I'm not doing a race highlight video. I'm just going to upload the race and call it the race highlight video. Oh, wow. Great way to end the season.
Fantastic.
All right then, ladies and... Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, I was a little bit scared that Steam might act up in the middle of that. Like, my heart sank when I saw Formula Danny leave because I thought, oh no, is something bad going to happen? But in the end, it's all worked out well. Steam has not crashed, and it's been a fantastic Grand Prix.
It has indeed. So after 28 laps, pardon me, at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for the final race of the season, Michael Romanidis is your race winner ahead of Napadovsky and Infamous. Photon takes fourth from Formula Danny after time penalties come into play. Calcifer takes sixth with Speed Barry jumping up to 7th. Teensay takes 8th with a Leonard in 9th as Cardinov rounds out the top 10. We're going to be heading into a short break before driver interviews. Make sure to vote for your driver of the day on the straw poll. That'll be coming through very shortly, but we'll be back in just a few moments' time with driver interviews, so stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here with our race winner, Michael Romanidis, third place man, Infamous, and fifth place man, Formula Danny. Starting off with our race winner, Michael. Great race from you, fantastic win by a massive margin over Napadovsky, but I'm going to go to the safety car first. Codemasters have brought in this new thing. Are you happy with how the safety car worked, or do you think that you could still make some tweaks to it?
Thank you. I think we actually had a good amount of safety cars before the patch, especially on this league for some reason. I think we had one in USA, of course, but I'm not really sure what was the incident that brought out the safety car. But of course, as you saw, it mixed things up, strategies, racing, and I think it makes it more realistic anyway. So I think it's a win-win situation with a safety car, and we also had a VSC, which makes things up even more and help the ones who struggle on the safety car. But yeah, I think it's a step forward for sure, and hopefully they keep it this way instead of patching it midway through the game cycle every time.
And speaking of adapting under, scenarios, Infamous, you were at the back of the grid. You had a spin on lap 2, you had to pit for the hard tires. A cracker of a comeback from you to get onto the podium. I mean, just talk us through that race.
Yeah, I think I'm actually the cause of the safety car, so I guess I saved my own race by accident there.
Good job.
Yeah, it's tactical, right? No, I'm joking. Yeah, I lost a bit of my front wing on the first lap, and I was having a battle through sector 3, and I clipped the wall in, I think it's turn 19. Yeah, and I was facing the wrong way, and then I felt like quitting, and then all of a sudden I saw safety car, so I was like, yeah, may as well slap on the hards, and they're literally the most horrible feeling tires I've ever felt in my life. It's actually disgusting to drive them. And then came out, I think P8 or something, and then made rapid progress up onto the back of Danny and Bari, who was struggling on the hards, and just managed to pull out the gap for my penalties, because I managed to pick up a penalty under the VSC in the middle of the race. I didn't even know that was possible.
Okay.
So yeah. But I'll definitely take it after being backwards on the first lap or whatever it was.
And speaking of struggling under hard tires, Danny, you pitted under that virtual safety car. First of all, I mean, I would like to ask you for your decision on that. And also, trying to defend from Photon and Calcifer, who had those fresh mediums. Did you always know that the hards would come back to you towards the end, or were you worried?
I wasn't worried because it was already a bad race from lap 3. I just hate when you choose the better alternate strategy and then just the safety car comes out at the perfect point for others and the worst point for you. It's like a yoke. And I don't like this a bit. And again, the safety car patch, the patch says that, okay, safety car will be more regular. We optimize how it come out. Of course, now it won't be more regular. Literally, safety car will be out every single time. A little part of the front wing will be on track. So that's what we should expect. Safety car on every league race from now on, because Codemasters usually makes drastic changes and not small changes. And this is how it usually works. So I'm quite pessimistic about that, because there was no point in sending it the safety car. It was in the second lap. So there is a huge gap between the first lap car and the first car who leads the race. So realistically, Napadovsky loses the front wing. He is still in the race, didn't retire. So when he goes after the field, there is around a full minute to the guards at the side of the track to take that clip of front wing up. So, there would not have been a safety car in real life. But of course, it's Codemasters, so there is a safety car messing my other race up again, causing me to run on terrible hard tires, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. But again, it was the worst race of my overall history in this league, definitely. It was just a suffer from the first lap to the end. I mean, not from the first lap, from the second lap to the end, because my game froze with DirectX error in the first lap, so
I saw that.
I disconnected and I could only join back in the second lap. So yeah, that's it. I'm very disappointed. But well done to Michael Romanidis and well done to all the other podium finishes. I am not P5, I'm P4. I didn't have any penalties, but somehow at the end, Photon lagged in front of me at the results. But he
Okay.
literally finished behind of me, and I was ahead, and I even have recording. So, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. It was a disappointing race. I would say that on to the next one, but this was the last race of the season, and I'm not sure about the next races how I will be able to join. But yeah, thanks for commentating, thanks for asking, and congratulations to all who fought till the end.
Well, thanks, Danny, for participating in this. And Jake, you've just joined us. We saw a couple of angry words. We missed what happened out on track. What happened between you and Barry on those? I'm guessing the last couple of laps.
It wasn't just that. It was, I think, before I made the first pit stop, he just kept braking ridiculously early, and then on the main straight, he broke like 50 meters early, and I only just avoided him. But I think I clipped him and got a little bit of wing damage, which was a bit annoying. And then I think he was just being aggressive to everyone at the end, hence why he spun. And then I got a legal overtake on him as well. So other than that, it was a really fun race, to be honest. I got some stupid penalties as well, but it was quite fun at the end with fighting with Photon, Danny, Calcifer, stuff like that. So other than that, it was good, but that thing with Speed Barry was a bit out of order.
The steward will take a look at it. Going back to you, Michael, for the final time. Again, another win for you. I think 4 podiums in a row. You're looking quick. Season 12. Obviously, I know you're in esports, so you don't have all the time to commit. But will we be seeing you, challenging for the championship then?
I'm not sure if I'll be racing necessarily next season. I'll try to, because this is a fun league. It's a dynamic league with very competitive drivers, and everyone is clean. From what I saw in my first few races here, I can't say anything for sure at the moment, but I'll try and commit to this league for the next season as well. And if I do, I'll of course go for the championship.
Well, Michael, Infamous, and Jake, thank you very much for your time joining us for the congratulations on your performances, and I hope you have enjoyed 11 so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Wait, hold up. Season 11 so far. What am I missing?
Is that what I said? I mean, so far. Technically, there are 2 races of Split B remaining.
Okay.
So
fine.
season Split A has ended, right? I have a way. I can walk my way out of anything.
Yeah, just wiggle your way out.
Yeah. See how it is.
I don't know. I think I don't know what's happening post-season. However, Byron, I was a bit rude. I forgot to ask you if you had any questions, but I'm gonna skip past that point.
Thank you.
No worries. Do you have any final words before we wrap things up?
It's been fun casting the few races I have. I've been very lucky because the Suzuka race was really fun, and the Abu Dhabi race that we just had was incredibly fun. So I've had you don't really get that kind of close racing when you're at my level, because the leagues you're in, there's people who instead of the pace difference being maybe like 1/10 or 2/10 between certain drivers, you've got like second differences very easily across the grid. So you don't get such close battles. So it's always exciting to tune in and see about 4 people within a second all near the final lap. It's fantastic. So it's been great to cast and watch.
Right, before I do the final outro for Split A of the season, I would like to give a quick thanks. Sorry, that is the wrong. See, this is what happens. I want to give a quick thanks to Krangh, who has joined ORL as our graphics designer. He's making all the cool championship standings graphics that you have been seeing lately, and they are absolutely awesome. So go check him out on Twitch. And the final one, and now I can't remember where I put it, which is always great to see. So I do apologize on that. Oh yeah, here it is. Right, so also a massive thanks to Fodi Akos, who is the designer of the Halo HUD, which he has provided to ORL. Make sure to check him out on Twitter, or you can find out more about the Halo HUD at wc-series.com. Of course, make sure to hit up ORL at team_ORL. You can check out myself and Byron as well on our Twitter. But yeah, just to round off the season, I guess, it's been absolutely awesome. All of you tuning in. So a massive thanks to all of you guys who have watched throughout the season, and to our drivers who have, of course, participated as well. It's been awesome having you along. We've come a really long way. And until season 12, guys, stay fast. We'll see you next season. Good night.
It is
Alright.
watchable.
I'll forget.